Peace, 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 love, light, and healing, peace, love, light, and healing, peace to the gods, peace to the earth. Y'all, climb on in, blessings, blessings. I've been getting a lot of questions about high blood pressure, hypertension, diabetes 1, diabetes 2. So definitely get your pens and pads. We finna go through all of it. I'm gonna pull out some of the cadavers today, and we're gonna have some fun. So let me know once y'all all get in. Make sure y'all got y'all pens and pads. When y'all got y'all pens and pads, we're going to start. Matter of fact, I want to show them something, Lane. Would you go upstairs, look in the office, and it's a book by Dr. Hilda Clark called The Cure for All Diseases. Would you bring it down to me? Peace, peace, blessings, y'all. Will this be on YouTube? Yeah, I upload it to my YouTube, and I will upload it to my Facebook. All right, I'm gonna let a few more people climb in and we're gonna get it started. I do want to say, man, I had a magnificent time in Mount Vernon, New York. It was amazing. They showed me all love. All the high schoolers came and packed up one side of the auditorium. The other side was all people just coming to see me. Shouts out to Porcilla. Shouts out to the mayor and shouts out to the senator. They gave me a proclamation. They gave me a proclamation. They gave me my own day in Dr. Yahki Raphael Elohim Day in Mount Vernon, New York. It's super dope. They gave me my roses. They gave me a big bouquet of roses, and they were just talking about how, you know, a lot of our black leaders die, and then, you know, we want to congratulate them, or we want to give them their flowers after they transition or pass over. And they said they wanted to give me mine while I was still alive. Man, it was super heartwarming. I felt it. Emotions was high. It was super dope. And what I love the most about being in Mount Vernon, money earning Mount Vernon, was the children. They responded to the knowledge and information. They participated. So look, shouts out to Mount Vernon, New York. We went over there to P Styles juice bar. We had some good juice. I mean, it was an amazing time, though. So shouts out to New York. So a lot of people was asking for me to show the book that I was talking about the last time I was live, and we was discussing herpes. And I was saying that I'm not the only person that discusses and you know, make the claims and have proven that herpes was an actual parasitic infection. This is a book called The Cure for All Diseases, which I mentioned in my live, by Dr. Hilda Clark, PhD. And this is her book. And if you go to her herpes pages, which is right here, it says herpes, she talks about the same thing, and she talks about how it is actually a fluke worm as well. And she says this. She says herpes simplex virus 2 breakouts in the genital area is often blamed on promiscuous sex, but I believe it is quite different origins, which I believe the same thing. She said, I believe this virus is introduced to our bodies by another large parasite, perhaps the pinworms, Ascaris, or perhaps a tapeworm stage picked up by dust or dirt, which I done said many a times. But when you start really reading through this book, she start talking about a fluke worm named Fasciolopsis boyski. And this is the same fluke worm that I can find in this pleomorphic tiny stage that's inside the bloodstream when I am doing live blood analysis. And we can even see them in stained dry blood analysis at certain times too. I have another book that's not in my office, that's at my house, that the next time I go live, I will show you that too. And that's by a biochemist named Dr. Bronze. Dr. Brown said the same thing. So, you know, it's not only me, it's over 4 other people that are saying that the herpes simplex virus is in fact not a so-called virus, but it's in fact a parasitic infection. And when that parasitic infection dies and go through what you would call cellular lysis and explode inside of your system, the DNA and the RNA particles from that parasitic is what triggers an antibody response from your immune system. And that's when they say you have a virus. And, you know, believe it or not, mostly all of your viruses happen the same way. So that's going to start making you question things. It's going to make you question HIV. It's going to make you question herpes. It's going to make you question HPV. It's going to start really making you question, and then asking yourself those questions just sitting you on a search. And on that search, when you start doing your own clinicals and you start doing your own experiments through the experience of self, you'll realize that is there, and then I'm going to say it like this because I don't want them to cut my feed. Do viruses really even exist? Do they really even exist? And then my next question is, if they do, This is the conclusion that I came up with. I'm not saying that this conclusion, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, I'm not saying that this conclusion is, the fact by the fact checkers. But I'm saying this: if what I'm saying is true, then that means if it is a virus, it is a biological weapon that was man created. But the things that are happening naturally in our bodies due to pleomorphic bacteria shape-shifting into parasites, that's a natural phenomenon. We cannot call that a virus. There's two different things. You have pleomorphic bacteria that pleomorph or shape-shift into parasites depending on the terrain that you put your body in. And then you have biochemical Fort Detrick military base that was sanctioned by the United States government to create these certain types of viral loads and strands, and then they administrate these things through needles. They administrate these things through fortified foods. They administrate these things through Bill Gates' appeal being sprayed on your fruits and vegetables. They administrate these things due to sexual corticoids that's being put inside of your chickens to make them reproduce faster. So what I'm saying is this: if it is in fact a virus, because I believe in that sense viruses do exist, then they're man created. But if we're talking about things like herpes, or we talking about things like small retroviruses, like they call HIV, that they put these big scare tactics behind them, and you think that as soon as you get these things, it's just an end all, because all of the propaganda in the media and all the trillions of dollars that they push behind it to put you in fear, right, which actually causes the so-called immune system to go down even more, then we talking about natural phenomenons. And when I was just talking about this probably a couple of days ago with Nabi, and we were just speaking on cancer, and I was just saying, just by diagnosing and clinically diagnosing the patients, telling them that they have cancer, in all actuality give them cancer. Because when you look at what cancer is a very, very stressed cell that have lost its programming due to hypoxia or due to the loss of electrons, where it shifts its poles and become acidic. So now in order for it to get oxygen, it have to mutate. And due to this mutation, it messed up the cell replica. So it over-replicate itself, and then they gather together and make a tumor. But really it's nothing but a stress malignant cell. So if a cancer cell is a stress malignant cell that was made to mutate, when you clinically diagnose somebody with cancer, after all the fear factors that you put in it, and just think about the imagery when you think of cancer. Like I can bet you, if I ask you what is cancer is right now, won't none of y'all give me an actual scholar clinical definition of it. You gonna think automatically about your loved ones that have died from it. You gonna think about your loved ones that have been mutilated, been hacked off, had surgery, had chemotherapy, which is a biological weapon. And anybody that's using these things on civilians in the United States should be locked up for terrorism. You see that? You're going to think about radiation, which is burning. I mean, literally burning the cells out of the body, not only the good ones, but the bad ones. You're going to think about lymph nodes and lymphatic vessels being taken out of the actual body when you need the lymphatic system, because the lymphatic system is what actually cleanses the cells of the body. So if the lymphatic system and the lymph nodes that's connected to the lymphatic vessels is made to be the sewage system of the body, and that's the way that you get rid of metabolic waste and toxicity and environmental pollutants and stress, emotional stress or physical stress from the environment built up in the system, is what causes cancer in the first place. And all of these things go to the lymphatic system and then is cleansed out by the nephrons or the glomerulus of the kidneys. Then that means the lymphatic system is very, very important for your healing process and getting rid of metabolic waste. So if you are removing lymph nodes to biopsy lymph nodes to actually see if there are malignant cells in there, isn't that causing cancer? If you removing lymphatic vessels and doing surgery on the sewage system that gets rid of the metabolic waste to cleanse the body of metabolic disease, wouldn't that mean that all these toxemias stay inside of the fluids, stay inside of the interstitial fluids and continue to burn the cells? And when you burn the cells, it's going to deprive the cells of oxygen and all the electrons that it needs. And doesn't that cause cancer? So, to me, just coming from my ideology, my mindset, and really being hands-on in this field for going on 15 years, it seems like that the so-called treatments that they are doing for cancer is actually causing cancer. It seems like the so-called things that they're giving you for these so-called viruses is actually keeping these so-called viruses in you. Now, again, Facebook, this is all my opinion and thought. I'm not on here saying I'm stating facts. We all gonna let the record speaks of things that y'all said and that y'all written though. But to keep me from being flagged and to keep this stuff on here, I'm gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say that. I am not a actual medical physician. See that I have a PhD in biochemistry. I'm a biochemist. I'm a human biologist. Yes, I do run my own clinic, but we do not use any of their standard of cares at all. Everything we do in our facility is herb-based. It is natural-based. We use machines and technology to help uplift and open up the lymphatic system. We use hyperbaric oxygen chamber therapy. We use PEMF therapy, which stands for post-electrical magnetic stimulation therapy. We use detoxification, where you go in a sauna and you detox that way. We use red light therapy. We use vibrational therapy. We use things like that. We do not use pharmaceuticals at all, and we never will. And every now and then I will say, hey, you might need to do an antibiotic. And don't get me wrong, I'm not extremist at all. If you come into our clinic and your blood pressure is 300 something over something, we gonna tell you to go to the hospital, go to the ER. You see what I'm saying? So it's a very, very big difference in what I practice. I push and practice, and my license is in plant-based nutrition and health. See that I don't push pharmaceuticals and medicines. I'm not a medical doctor. You see that I have a doctorate. Well, I have multiple doctorates, which is why you can call me doctor. And yes, I have an NPI and all of that. So I am licensed to open my own clinic and not go to jail and get in trouble. But I will get in trouble if I practice medicine. But I will never become one of those. Right now, we against that 100%. You know what I'm saying? And y'all need to learn that too. Y'all different classification of doctrines. All right, so high blood pressure. We're going to talk about high blood pressure. So I want you to get your pen, get your pad, and write down hypertension or high blood pressure. So whenever you're thinking about high blood pressure, there's many different ways to get it. Now, I want to put this in an analogy, and I want to start focusing on things. The first thing we're going to learn about is what you would call hydrostatic pressure or oncotic pressure. And this is basically when the pressure is so high within your arteries or in your venous system that it makes the blood that's coming through the system press up against the artery wall or press up against the veins or the venous system. And this is what they call high blood pressure. All right. So you have something called systolic. Systolic is the top number, which they clinically say is supposed to be 120. And then you have diastolic. Diastolic is the bottom number. They say that's supposed to be 80. So according to their textbooks, their clinical textbooks, is supposed to be 120 over 80. Always think about the top number as being, and here go a kidney and adrenal. So always think about the top number as being the adrenal glands. That's supposed to be a 120 according to them. And always think about the bottom number, which is diastolic, as the kidneys. That's the bottom number. So whenever you're thinking about hypertension or hypotension, or whenever you're thinking about blood pressure, it always has something to do with the adrenals and the kidneys. So the first part I want to focus on when it's dealing with high blood pressure, I want to deal with the actual systolic, which is the actual adrenal gland. So I want y'all to write down systolic, adrenal glands, textbook wise, it's supposed to be 120. So if it goes up in millimeters of mercury, what's going on here? You have to see what the adrenals do. So the adrenals are in control. I talk about this a lot. The adrenals are in control of what you would call the autonomic nervous system. And these are things that runs on autopilot. When I was just at Mount Vernon High School, I had to explain to them that you don't only have 2 brains, you have 3 brains. I've been saying this for the last 10 years. You have the central nervous system, which is the brain inside of your cranial, right? The brain inside of your skull. Then you have your heart. The reason why I'm going to call your heart a brain, because your heart have actually a bunch of melanin neurotransmitters that communicate with your gut in your brain. In your heart can hold memory. And there is an actual documentary on Netflix where people were getting heart transplants from dead donors before, and they started taking on memories, start taking on gifts, and start taking on certain types of events that the organ donor gave them while they were still in the body. They did a black man died. The black man was into blues. He played a saxophone. He loved listening to R&B and things like that. He ended up dying, and an actual white racist man, a Caucasian man, ended up getting his heart. Did you know this Caucasian racist man started loving the blues? This Caucasian racist man started loving R&B and started loving hip hop and black music, and he didn't know why. And then he went back, and they went back to the organ donors, and it turns out that the things that he liked is what his organ donor liked. So they had to do a clinical study and trial, and it come to find out that you hold memories and melanin neurotransmitters inside of your heart. See that? So that's your second brain. But then you got your third brain. Well, I really say that the gut is your first brain, the heart is your second brain, and then the central nervous system is your third brain. So then you got your first brain, which is your gut. There are more melanin neurotransmitters and messengers and nucleus tissues or neuron tissues inside of your gut than it is inside of your brain that's in your head and your heart combined together. And if you think that I'm telling you a lie, all you have to do is Google this stuff. Now, the reason why I'm saying that your gut is your first brain and your gut is a big brain, and it's controlled by a nervous system called the autonomic nervous system, right? Or they call it the intrinsic or the enteric nervous system. This is actually controlled by stimuli that come from the adrenal glands. Now, why is this important? Because you have to think about this. If your heart beats automatically and you don't have to tell your heart to beat, that means that your heartbeat is controlled by nerve impulses. These nerve impulses are getting an electrical signal by the adrenal glands, right? Your calf muscles contracting, because we got to remember, the heart is not a pump. That's another textbook fallacy that we have been made to believe. The lungs is what pumps the blood throughout the body, the top of the body. Then you have your calf muscles is what pumps the blood through your low extremities. See that? So your calf muscles and your lungs is what pumps the blood working together throughout the entire body. That's why people that walk longer or people that walk every day live longer. It's a tribe in Okinawa. All they do is walk, and they average death. They average death is at 104. And the reason why, you look, they exercise. They don't do rigorous exercises, but they make sure that they practice breath work and they stay moving their calf muscles. And these people are the strongest, the most beautiful, gentle, and well-aged people on the planet, y'all. And if you look at what they're doing, they're moving what you would call they blood contributor muscles, which is their lungs, because they constantly practicing on the breath. And then they actually doing leg exercises. They walking around, they doing croquette. You would never see them sitting down. Even when they at home, they're constantly doing chores and they on their feet. Because your calf muscles actually pumps the blood up the venous system to return back to the heart. And the lung muscles, when you breathe and you're doing your diaphragmatic breathing, that releases the blood to bring it out through the whole entire body. Then you have something called the sinoatrium, which is another neurolymphatic, not only a neurolymphatic, but a neuronervous system point that keeps the heart beating. And it opens and closes the valve to control the cardiac output of blood. See that? So it's a difference. Now, back to the adrenal glands. Now, if the adrenal glands is in control of the heartbeat, if the adrenal glands is in control of breathing, the lung pump, if the adrenal glands is in control of stimuli of the cells that's inside of the muscle tissues to dilate and constrict, that means if your adrenals get stressed out and your adrenals get overstimulated, dehydration will make your adrenals overstimulated. You see that? Ultra processed foods will make your adrenals highly stimulated. Eating meats, especially red meat, will make your adrenals highly stimulated. You see that? Environmental pollutants will make your adrenals highly stimulated. Being backed up lymphatically will make your adrenals highly stimulated. And why I'm saying that, because what controls the actual flow of your lymphatic vessel is called acetylcholinesterase. Acetylcholinesterase come from something called acetylcholine. This is an actual hormone or a chemical due to enzymatic reactions in the body that makes your lymph actually flow. It makes your lymph flow. So if you're not producing acetylcholine esterase or acetylcholine, then it's going to be impossible to get your adrenal glands to talk to the lymphatic vessels to actually dilate them for you to move lymph through your body anyway. So if you're not producing this because you're not eating the adequate amount of raw foods, you're not eating the adequate amount of whole foods, non-GMO foods that have seeds in them, foods that is grown directly from the earth that don't have any environmental pollutants on them, like herbicides, insecticides, pesticides, Appeal, and Bill Gates spray, then what's going to happen is they're going to stay dilated for the lymph can flow. But if you eating these foods, it's going to stop producing acetylcholine esterase or acetylcholine esterase, and that's not going to open up the lymphatic vessels. So now all of that fluid starts backing up into the interstitium fluid of the body. Right? So in order for it to do that, you have to fill up the vessels. Well, we know that the blood cleanses itself inside of the lymphatic system. So if the lymphatic system gets backed up, but the circulatory system or the blood cleanses itself inside the lymphatic system, that means that all this lymphatic fluid starts backing up inside the arteries. So now we have metabolic waste inside of the blood. You see that? Now, since metabolic waste inside the blood becomes acidic. If the blood becomes acidic, you die. So what happens is the parathyroid glands that sits on the back of the thyroid starts releasing calcium. So now calcium is in the bloodstream. Calcium inside of the bloodstream is cool. But if you never change your diet or change the way that you look at your reality, too much calcium starts building up. Well, this causes calcification of the arteries. Calcification of the arteries automatically vasoconstrict the arteries and the veins. So since the arteries and the veins vasoconstrict themselves, where's the arteries in the vein real fast? Did I bring them? Go check and see if I brought them. So since the vasoconstriction happened to the arteries and the veins, it's going to make that blood flow even harder. So just look at this artery, right? This is an artery. Now, when you're looking at this artery, you see the blood trying to make it through the artery. But what you see is you see calcium plaque buildup, and you see what you would call cholesterol. Now, cholesterol is called the internal scab of the body. Cholesterol is a good thing, y'all. You need cholesterol. It's impossible to survive without cholesterol. Cholesterol is, the brain eats 99% of this cholesterol. Matter of fact, if your cholesterol is below 180, it increases your cancer diagnosis by 70%, y'all. By 70%. Dang it, it's cool. Dang it, you can put that back. It actually increases your cancer rate by 70% if your cholesterol is below 180. But they want your cholesterol at a 140. Your total cholesterol. So it don't make sense. Without cholesterols, you can't protect your cells because your cellular membrane is made of cholesterols. You see what I'm saying? Cholesterol is actually good for the liver. The liver creates cholesterol. Without cholesterol, you wouldn't even have any sexual hormones. It would be impossible to make a baby without cholesterol, because cholesterol is what makes your sexual hormone, pregnenolone. The fundamental basis of pregnenolone hormone is cholesterol. Progesterone. The fundamental basis of progesterone is actually cholesterol. Testosterone. The home base particles that make up testosterone is cholesterol. Estrogen. What creates estrogen is cholesterol. And it's all actually functioned by a master gland called the pituitary gland, or who we call the God Patu, because the body is so interconnected with spirituality because we are the gods here on earth. So, cholesterol is nature's scab. When calcium comes through the arteries and calcium calcifies and turns into crystals, and then the blood is trying to push that calcium in it because it's going to create this oncotic pressure, because automatically you suffering from dehydration. That's going to constrict. If you think I'm playing, when you find a snail, put some salt on it. When that snail gets that salt, it sucks all the water out. That dehydration makes the snail very, very skinny. Same thing that happens with your vessels when you become dehydrated. It makes your blood vessels in the arteries very, very constricted. Now, on top of that, since that constriction and all that metabolic waste is inside the arteries, and you don't want to die of acidosis, the actual parathyroid is going to release something called calcitonin. Calcitonin is going to go and move and pull actual calcium from the blood calcium matrix. So calcium then goes into the blood from the bones, and calcium is now roaming through the actual arteries. So now, since you are dehydrated and you don't have the adequate amount of H3O, not H3O2 that come from your juices in your coconut water, but H3O, which is the actual highly structured water that's already in your body, what's going to happen is the calcium is going to crystallize and the cholesterol that's in here is going to calcify. So now you have cholesterol crystals and calcium crystals, cholesterol crystals, and calcium crystals inside of the bloodstream. So what happens is the blood is going to be pushing and making its way through. See how it's pushing and forcing? This brings up oncotic pressure. Notice, now what makes the blood flow harder? The adrenal glands. See that? So now this is going to put the adrenal glands in hyperstimulation with my adrenals. So now since the adrenal glands in hyperstimulation, it's going to say, hey, produce more renin, produce more of that. Produce more acetylcholinesterase. Produce more of that. I need blood to flow faster because the arteries are vasoconstricted and I need them to dilate. But on top of that, since I got metabolic waste inside of the arteries, I need calcium to be released by way of the pituitary gland and calcitonin from the parathyroid to go and buffer out the acids because calcium is a natural acid buffer. That's what it does. So now calcium goes through, you dehydrated, it dries out. So there's no more hydration and calcium. This is called crystallization or solidification. It starts ripping and tearing through the artery wall. So now since it's ripping and tearing through the artery wall, cholesterol is going to come from the liver and come from bowel and say, I need to patch up the holes. So if you look at cholesterol, it's like a putty that you put in walls that have holes in it. So they going to blame that on heart attack and stroke, but they not seeing what's causing the mechanism. But when you get to the root cause of what's going on is calcium had ripped through the artery walls. So since calcium ripped through the artery walls, the liver, the gallbladder, like, hey, I need to produce more cholesterol to go putty these holes up. So now you get putty and holes up. Now, all of this mixed with calcium and mixed with cholesterol makes the actual vessel even more constricted. So now blood got to find a way to push itself through there. Guess what? The adrenal's going to say produce more blood, because if blood starts circulating, you drop dead. They call them aneurysms, they call them heart attacks, and they call them strokes. You see what I'm saying? So now it's going to go even more and raise its stimuli. So now your blood pressure 150, 200. Now, sometimes they even get into the threes, which is going to send you to heart attack or stroke. You see that? Now, that's just for the top part. And I'm going to show you how to get rid of this. Then we got to talk about the bottom part. That is only systolic, right? Systolic. And let's not talk about cortisol, which is a highly stressful chemical. You need it inside the body at low levels because we need to be in a low state of fight or flight, because it keeps us focused at times, especially when you wake up in the morning, you go into your state of fight or flight. This is what wakes you up and gets you ready for your work day, get you ready to walk on your purpose. But you shouldn't be in a cortisol hypertension stage throughout the day, because guess what that does? That puts stress chemicals inside the blood vessels. Cortisol is being released by what? Corticosteroids, the adrenal glands. What's going to happen? Vasoconstriction when we need vasodilation. See that? So the overcompensation of calcium, the overcompensation of cholesterol is actually what's causing the blood to flow through it and to push through, to put that hydrostatic and oncotic pressure on the artery walls, which is causing your blood pressure to be 300 or 220 or 150 over 100. That's the first part. Now, how do you get rid of that? Matter of fact, let's do how you get rid of that first before we even talk about the bottom number. We only going to stick to systolic, which is the top one first. First thing you need to do is stop stressing out. Quit stressing. If you can't control it, don't worry about it. Because half the things that you're stressing over, you have no control over anyway. Second thing is know how to calm yourself with breathing meditation. Can you consciously breathe? Because most of the time, your breaths, your inconsistent breath, your adolescent breath you taking, you don't even do full breaths, is causing your hypertension. You think I'm lying? Look this stuff up. If you do not do full breaths, complete breaths, it can actually cause this hypertension because you are telling the adrenal glands that you can't breathe. And if the adrenal glands don't think you can breathe, guess what they gonna do? They gonna try their hardest to do the breathing for you. So you have to consciously breathe. In through the nasal passage, out through the mouth. In through the nasal passage. Make sure your diaphragmatic muscle fully expand. Hold that breath out through the mouth. This will calm down the stimuli. And then now the adrenal glands can say, up, Let me pull back on the corticosteroids. Let me pull back on the steroids. Let me pull back on the cortisol. Let me pull back on the epinephrine, neuroepinephrine. Let me pull back on the adrenaline. Let me increase dopamine. Let me increase oxytocin. Let me increase serotonin. Let me increase melatonin. Let me increase all of the actual calming hormones, all the loving and happy hormones, and let me put that other scary state of fight or flight hormones away. I'm going to use them when we need it. So that's the first thing. Make sure that you're breathing properly. Next thing is get off the meats. If you have high blood pressure, you shouldn't be eating meat, especially cows and chickens. Especially cows and chickens. Get off of them, even if they're grass-fed. Because guess what they come with? Their own stressed out hormones. Their own stressed out hormones, especially if you ain't raised it yourself and slaughtered it yourself, which you shouldn't be doing that anyway, because that makes you a murderer. But say if you get them from the store. Do you realize that these cows and these chickens are crying on their way to the slaughterhouse, and they're dumping all of their pheromones, they're dumping all of their hormones, they're dumping all of their fear factors into the blood, that you're going to cook that blood in the meat to make it well done? You think you're getting rid of all of the chemical factors, but you're not. I done proved this probably 20 posts ago, and now you eating these angry birds and you eating these angry hamburgers, and you wonder why you angry and why you stressed out, because you're eating anxiety that's been pumped into the blood by these animals, and then they're getting cooked or they're getting dried into the actual cells of these animals. So get off meats. And let's not talk about the heterocyclic amines and the hydrocarbons that raises your blood pressure too, that come from you even putting flames and cooking and charring in these animals anyway. And cooking these animals actually causes throat cancer. I'm talking about by a large percentage, because of the heterocyclic amines and the hydrocarbons and the aromatase that's associated with cooking these things. So get off meat. Number 3, hydration. Make sure that you're hydrating, whether you're doing spring water, whether you're doing H3O2, whether you're doing H2O2, whether you're doing all these things. Make sure that you're hydrating. At least be drinking 45 ounces of liquids a day. At least. Next thing is watch your mineral balance, because what we've been noticing is people that have high hypertension or have high blood pressure are suffering a whole lot from calcium overload and not enough magnesium. You have to remember what is the functioning of calcium. Calcium does not only buffer out acids, but calcium also does what, y'all? It vasoconstrict the cells. It constrict the cells. It constricts the cardiac sphincter. It closes the arteries. And then magnesium relaxes the cells. It relaxes the pyloric sphincter, the cardiac sphincter. It relaxes the arterial. So we call that vasodilation. So if you know, when you look at the arteries that is too constricted, magnesium will automatically open it up more for you to be able to flow properly. And that's the one thing I love about magnesium citrate. It's going to open things up. It dilates. Not only does it dilate the blood vessels, but it dilates the actual urinary tract. It helps you get rid of kidney stones, stones that's in the liver and in the adrenals and in the kidneys. And one thing it does is it dissolves crystals. That's magnesium citrate. Or citrate. So that's what I love about magnesium. It relaxes things. Calcium constricts things, and it buffers out acids. So make sure that you're getting a bunch of magnesium in. If you want magnesium, sweet potato. You want magnesium, organic beets, grow them yourself. You want magnesium, and nitric oxide is another thing that we're lacking. If your blood pressure is high, you are low from nitric oxide. These are facts. So see what nitric oxide's in. These are in your cruciferous vegetables. Make sure that you eating your kale. Make sure that you properly chewing your kale, for you can get your nitric oxide out of that. I love me some organic broccoli. Love it. Hybrid or not, I love it. It's a superfood. Don't know no other food better than broccoli. Eat your broccoli. Make sure you chop your broccoli up, for you can get your sulforaphane and your sulfates and your nitric oxide from it though, and your isothionins from it, because these things are very, very good for you, and it helps keep the blood flowing properly. It helps keep calcium in its balanced place with magnesium, and it keeps the actual your venous system and your arteries dilated. These are the facts. All right. Next thing is walking. Make sure that you're walking at least a mile a day. And I'm not saying that you got to walk on a treadmill. You can walk outside in nature, and you can walk at your own pace, but walk. Make sure that those calf muscles is pumping them blood right. Make sure that you at least get into some type of hard breathing, for you can train your lung cells. You have to train your pneumocytes. Pneumocytes just mean lung cells. That's where you get pneumonia from. So train your lungs, train your respiratory system by walking. Another thing is hot and cold showers. This will help it flow easily. Make sure that you're doing alternative switching on your hot and cold showers. Jump in the shower, jump in there cold for 10 minutes. On your last 5 minutes, cold for warm. Warm for 10 minutes. On your last 5 minutes out, turn it cold and try to stay in there as long as possible. All these things help. But the best thing is going to be your nutrition, y'all. Your nutrition. Fruits, berries, melons, vegetables, and coconut water. 21 days on nothing but those. 21 days. I haven't even mentioned herbs yet. 21 days on nothing but fruits, berries, melons, vegetables, and coconut water. All organic. All organic. Your blood pressure will naturally regulate itself. Your blood pressure will naturally regulate itself. This is just from the systolic. We haven't even gotten to the kidneys or what you would call the diastolic yet. This is just getting the top number down. Now we got to talk about the kidneys, which is diastolic. And then I'm going to give you herbs for both of them, which I do all the time. Diastolic, this top number is the kidneys. What happened is the glomerulus, these are called the glomerulus. These are called the pyramids. These are called renal pyramids right here. This is a glomerulus right here. Let me get it. This is a filtration system of the kidney. This is called the glomerulus. This is called the corticonephrons. These two are the filtration parts that make up the actual kidneys. Yes, you have pyramids inside your kidneys. And what's crazy is when you add them all together with the nephrons, it makes up the pyramids, the grids, and the sphinx that cover the earth. Just saying, it seemed like the gods or religion was all made after our body parts. You know, you have Patu, God Patu, then you have the pituitary gland. You know what I'm saying? You have the 33-degree vertebrae. That's Christ died at 33. You know what I'm saying? You got Christos and Santa Claus. All this stuff is in your brain and in your body. Like, I'm talking about literally. So I'm just saying, really think about that. But anyways, when these things get backed up because of metabolic waste, and what the glomerulus do is it separates proteins and it brings it back into the bloodstream from metabolic waste. It puts salt back into the bloodstream. It gets rid of excessive salt, and it gets rid of mucus, and it turns things into urea, and it passes through the urethra, and then you put that stuff in the toilet. But if you bring it in too much metabolic acidosis, these things starts burning the glomerulus, and they start burning the actual cortical nephrons. So then the filtration system stop working. When the filtration system start working, and a lot of y'all got calcitonin, or what you would call calcium stones inside of the kidneys too. And it's due to the same way calcium is made to be produced inside of the bloodstream from the adrenals. The same thing happened. It just happened on a kidney level. Now, this actually stops the filtration system of the glomerulus and of the actual nephrons. So since it stopped filtering, you start leaking protein. Protein starts tearing up the actual nephrons, and then you start leaking protein. You know, if you're leaking protein, just check your urine. It's going to be very, very foamy. That means it's damage that's happening inside the kidneys. Or get a urinalysis check, and then check your Bun's number, your blood urine nitrogen number, and check your sodium potassium number, and check your GFR numbers and your filtration rates and things like that. And you can tell what's going on with your kidneys, family. And check your calcium. If your calcium high, your Bun's number low, your BUN is low, your GFR is low, and then your potassium is high and your phosphorus is high, you're going into kidney failure, buddy. And you need to come holler at me, seriously. Because I'm gonna get you back. Because I know exactly what to do. My people know my team know exactly what to do. And I'm not saying I'm the only one out here that know exactly what to do. I'm not even saying, I'm not making them claims, you know what I'm saying? But I do. I know exactly what to do. So these things happen since all the metabolic waste and the damage of the nephrons is happening. What happened is you start leaking protein and you start building up a bunch of metabolic waste in the kidneys. Now, since you're building up a bunch of metabolic waste in the kidneys and you're retaining a bunch of water and fluids, especially lymphatic fluid, guess what happens? Pressure builds up. When pressure builds up in the nephrons, pressure builds up in the veins, because if you're looking here at this kidney, what you have the renal vein, the renal venous system, then you have the renal artery system. So you have the flowing of blood coming inside of the kidney pyramid structure. Then you have the blood coming back out. And then along the way, you have what you would call lymphatic capillary beds, where the blood is constantly cleansing itself inside the lymphatic system. You see that? So how do you fix this issue? I just told y'all, but how do you fix the issues of the kidneys? You have to do a kidney cleanse. You have to. About 2 videos ago, I showed you how to do a proper kidney cleanse, but I'll tell you again, parsley leaf. Parsley leaf is amazing for the kidneys. You see that? You can put it in your salads. You can put it on your fruits. You can put it on your vegetables. Or you can just take the parsley leaf. Thinking of that, let me drink my kidney tea. Or you can do that, or you can make a tea out of it. Thank you, Nabi, for the tea. Or you can make a tea out of it. Very, very good for you. Another one is stingy nettle root or stingy nettle leaf. These are good for kidney filtration. My all-time favorite for kidney filtration, and that's going to tone the kidneys, that's going to cleanse the kidneys, and that's going to strengthen the kidneys, is juniper berries. You can get these berries. You can eat them wild on your salads. You can eat them wild with other berries, or you can get them in a dried form and you can put them a part of your tea concoction. And then you're going to drink 8 ounces of this twice a day. This is going to help flush the kidneys. While you're doing that as well, what I would do is I would do a teaspoon of magnesium citrate, or what they call Epsom salt, in the magnesium citrate side, and I'll put a tea of that in about 4 ounces of water, mix it up real good, and I drink that down in the morning and in the evening. And any type of calcium stones that you have that's built up in the kidney, it will help dissolve them. It will help dissolve them. And I also will eat a bunch of what you would call organic grapefruit. Now, if you own hypertension medication, you can't mix that with grapefruit. But if you have high blood pressure, because all of y'all just be stopped taking y'all medicine, never said that I told y'all to. But if you're not taking blood pressure medication and do those things, make sure that you're eating your grapefruit, because this is going to help dissolve that as well. Matter of fact, any type of citric fruit is going to help dissolve, and it's going to astringe, and it's going to pull and tug on any type of calcium or any type of what you would call built up mass inside of your tissues. That's what you do for the kidneys. Plenty, and drink plenty of water too. Drink plenty of water, plenty of your juices. But look, the parsley, the stingy nettle leaf, the stingy nettle root, and the juniper berries do amazing wonders. And look, last but not least, y'all, talk to your body. Talk to your kidneys. Hug on them. Let them know that you love them. Let them know that you sorry for putting them through the hell you've been putting them through, and command them to work right, because body did not create consciousness and body did not create mind. You see that? Mind and consciousness created body and mind. Consciousness is God. God wants to experience itself, so it created a body to deal with matter. So you can command and tell your kidneys and your adrenals what you want them to do if you really believe it. And through that very belief, you change your biology. And through changing your biology, that's how you change your whole perception on disease. It's a perception thing that's going on is wrong, okay? That's what's going on. So that's how you clear up hypertension, high blood pressure. I hope I covered that, y'all. For those that need to calm down their adrenals because their adrenals are too stimulated, always use valerian root. Valerian root, valerian root, valerian root, and chamomile will really calm you. I have something on the site called Surrender Tea. It's a calming tea that will calm your nervous system. It will calm your adrenal glands for being so stimulated. I also have something called the Kidney and Adrenal Kit on my website for those that don't want to make it themselves. I already gave you all the ingredients you need. The adrenal kit, the Kidney and Adrenal Kit, is on the website. I think it's about $350. That's been handling this whole situation. And if you want to just calm your nervous system, we have the Surrender Tea. All right. And the Surrender Tea got chamomile in it. We put a little bit of lavender in it, you know what I'm saying, to knock off the edge, a tad bit of valerian root in it and things like that. It's just a whole calming sensation. So you can do it yourself at home. You can go to your local herbal store and buy it yourself. Or if you don't have time to do all of it, of course, you can go to www.yahkiawaken.com and you can buy it from me. All right, so we talked about high blood pressure. Now, since we talked about high blood pressure, now I want to get into diabetes. So if everybody understood everything, overstood everything I just said, type in some 9s. And then we're going to start talking about diabetes. Or should I make them 2 different videos?
Like different, yeah.
I should. Because I think we pretty much tackled that, huh?
Yeah, and they got a lot of people talking about that.
Okay, so how about we do this? I will go over diabetes tomorrow, and I'm finna answer. I should just answer the phone. All right, so I'm gonna answer questions, and we'll talk about diabetes tomorrow. But look, I came ready for the diabetes, boy. Y'all see me? I got the pancreas. I got to. Hey, we was finna get deep into the diabetes, but let's leave it on blood pressure, and let's talk about blood pressure. I answer the phone for y'all, and then we'll talk about diabetes tomorrow. So let me answer this phone. What time tomorrow? Tomorrow, probably what you want to do? 8 o'clock again? We went live at 8 o'clock pronto today, so we're gonna do the same thing. Peace, 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 little light of healing. What's your name? What's your name?
Peace, peace, Yahki. My name's Abdul. I'm out here in Florida right now. How you
Man, I'm
doing, brother?
doing good, man. Shouts out to you. Shouts out to Florida, man. What's going on with you?
Everything is well, my brother. I don't know if you remember me. We had a conversation probably like a couple lives ago, and I was with my queen. I was asking you questions about pregnancy and everything.
Yeah, I remember. What's going on with you?
So we just came back from one of the tests that you do. She's in the 9th month now, and the doctor was saying that she came back positive for the group B streptococcus.
Yeah, streptococcus.
Streptococcus.
Streptococcus. That's a bacteria. Did they try to put her on antibiotics?
Oh yeah, they was saying they want to give her penicillin, like the IV thing, when she's getting into labor. So I was just wondering, like, what's your take on that, and like, how do we get around that, or if there's anything that we could like do on our own?
Yeah. So what I would do is, if it was me, I'm gonna
Right.
say what I would
Yeah.
do if it was me.
Right.
If it was me and that was my woman, I would get into probiotics. That's what I would do. I would get into probiotics. You have things like bifidum bacteria. You have lactose bacillus bacteria. You need to find probiotics that have over a million plus probiotics that have over 7 different essential probiotics you need. And if that was me, I'd be taking about 2 tablets of those a day, and I would let the probiotics outnumber and out culturalize the actual bacteria. That way it can balance itself out. I would do that. That's what I would do. Because I would say oregano oil, which is an amazing uh antibacterial biotic. That's what I call it. But sometimes oregano oil and pregnancy don't go good together. You see what I'm saying? But what you can do for her, or what she can do for herself that won't hurt her, is probiotics. And probiotics is known for kicking bacteria infections butt, especially streptococcus.
Okay. Interesting.
So that's what I do, brother. So look into probiotic strands. Make sure you get the good ones. Make sure that they are live culture probiotics, and make sure you do a million plus strands in there. And make sure that it's the 7 essential. It's gonna say 7 essential probiotics you need. It's gonna be a couple of extra ones on the bottle, but make sure you get those 7 essential ones on there. And that should really take care of that problem, brother. And a lot of people, and these things are not. They don't teach us these things, but if you give somebody with a bacterial infection a probiotic other than an antibiotic, you actually get rid of the bacterial infection faster. And it don't, because we know that clinically, antibiotics causes cancer, because it's nothing but mold. When you get into your amoxicillins, your penicillins, all this stuff is made through extreme fermentation. And these extreme fermentations add more thrust, add more candida albicans, and add more mold to the body, which further sucks and deprives the cells of oxygen, which brings the body into hypoxic states, which causes cancer a decade from now. So, I'm not the antibiotic type of person. I'm into prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because like I remember it was one video that you was saying like how the so-called black woman has like
Different
and
strength. You
oh
listening. So look, and
yeah,
this the
you
thing,
already
when you
know.
talk about the so-called black woman's wound, right? When you talk about the melanated woman wound, she have over 100,000 different types of microbes and bacteria. Her bacteria portfolio or profile is so different than any other being on planet Earth. They always
Hmm.
say, well, you got BV, or you have a yeast infection, you have this and that, but it's really an imbalance due to the acid forming food she eating. And because she's so special, and she is she's the mother of all living humans on Earth. Everything had to come through that black goddess first to even be here. Whether we talking about different races of, when we talking about that mitochondria Eve gene or that mitochondria Eve DNA, we are talking about a melanated woman here. And when you look at her diversified portfolio of bacteria, they still can't explain it till this day. So, and that's why if you look at BV, Bacterial vaginosis, who's the number one for it? The black woman.
Right.
When you look at yeast infections, who's the number one for it? The so-called black woman. When you look at yeast thrusts, when you look at Candida albicans, when you look at all of these things, it's because they are not understanding the diet and vagina relationship. So once the woman start eating right, and once she start taking the right probiotics and getting the adequate amount of minerals in her that she needs, her bacteria, it will balance itself. But as long as she eating acidic forming foods, she drinking, she smoking, or she being stressed out in the household, either by the children, by the man, or by, you know, working a job or things like that, then her pH is always going to be off, and she going to always have a bacterial issue. But man, it's food and environment, brother. But for your queen, man, what I would do if I was her, I would do probiotics, man. Give me a bunch of strands, make sure they good probiotics, make sure it's from a good source, make sure I got all the 7 essential probiotics I need up in that deal, and I eat good as I can. Make sure I eat nothing but organic foods. I probably wouldn't do no more fried foods until I had the baby. I would go on a strictly plant-based organic meal plan, and the only thing I would do as far as heating my food is baking and steaming, brother. And then boom, you look up later when she delivering. Hopefully you deliver at your home and you don't take the baby to those institutes, to those cradle robbers, to let them deliver the baby. You do it at home birth. But unfortunately, a lot of kings don't know that knowledge yet, and that's why we need to start. You know, a lot of women doing birthing classes. I think males need to do birthing classes too, because I delivered
I
all my
agree.
babies myself.
Right.
I think we need to get into that too, because we need to be our own doctors, delivering our babies, pulling our babies out of the womb. We need to be the first thing that baby see, the first voice that baby hear need to be Abba, need to be the father. I'm the one who put you in there in the first place, so it needs to be us anyway. But you know, besides all of that though, brother, I think if you do go to the hospital and you do the things I just said, about time you get to that point when because they're gonna do another test on her before then and make sure that the bacteria is not there. I think it'll be gone, brother. Just my opinion.
You know, it's crazy, Yahki, because like I've been at like every doctor's appointment, you know, with her, and you know, every time they say, I think they about to say something funny, or you know, it's something that doesn't feel like natural to me. I'm always thinking about you, like, you know, what would Yahki do, or like
Man,
maybe she put
I'm
that on
glad,
the
man. I'm
t-shirt or
honored,
something, you know.
brother. I'm honored. That means that I'm doing the work, man. All praises. Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Yes, sir. And listen, I wanted to show you something too, because you definitely inspired me to like do my
Uh-huh.
homework and you know get more into healing and stuff like that. So this
Uh-huh.
is a couple years ago, but I definitely got a certificate in like herbal studies.
That's what I'm talking about, brother.
So you know,
That's a beautiful certificate too. You see that, Nabi? My
yes,
brother done
sir.
got his herbal studies on, man. I just brought a couple of plaques back home. I wish I had mine. I'll show them to you. But man, hey, look, stay at it, King. I can't do this all by myself, man. We need more healers out here pushing the awareness. Our people is sick, and it's millions and millions and millions of us, man. We are the minority. I mean, we're the majority. We damn sure ain't the minority. So there's plenty room in the healing space for you to come in and help me tackle this situation, brother. So hey, come help your brother out, man. I love it.
Yes, sir. And then this is my last question.
Mhm.
So I had like a discussion with somebody about vitamin B12 and how they were saying that you know you need to eat meat in order to get that, and
No,
obviously,
always hit them with this.
yes, sir.
This how you hit them. See, I'm a biochemist. They can't pull that on me. You ask them, what do the actual animals eat to get they B complexes? What do the animal? Okay, if I gotta eat this animal to get my B complexes, what the hell do the animal eat to get its B complexes? Which is why I'm supposed to eat the animal to get my B
Right.
complexes. Don't even make sense.
Yeah.
They eat dark leafy green vegetables, brother. So you get your vitamin B complexes, or your vital amine B complexes from actual dark leafy greens. But I'm gonna tell you where you can get it from, and it's abundance. Your mushrooms, brother. Lion's manes, mushrooms, oyster mushrooms have a lot of vitamin B complexes. Now, your B complexes come from a conversion of cobalt mineral, cobalt. So if it come from a cobalt derivative, then that means cobalt have to be present in the dark leafy green vegetables, in the mushrooms, and in all, even in the meats that they eating. It comes from cobalt. That's a mineral, brother. So if you can find cobalt, look your wheat grasses, look at, for real, just go into your dark leafy green vegetables with the highest cobalt content, in your mushrooms. That's where every last one is, because it ain't only vitamin B12. There's a bunch of different complex vitamin B minerals. Look, check this out real quick. Let me show you something real fast.
Mhm.
Is vitamin B12 a cobalt derivative? Let me turn it up. Look, it says yes. yes. It says, damn, Lane, I want you to come read this for you don't think I'm making this up. It says, yes, vitamin B12 is a cobalt derivative. Read that out loud real quick. Let's read that real fast. And this is simple Google, brother. Look, they don't know what they be talking about. In the beginning, nothing ate animals because nothing died. Everything was supposed to come and inherit the earth, live for at least 1,000 years and transcend. Death is an illusion still, but it really was an illusion back then. So if nothing died, that means we didn't eat or shed blood. So where did we get all our minerals then? From the original food in Genesis chapter 129 that God created for us: fruits, berries, vegetables, melons, and after its kind with seeds, brother. Read that real quick.
It says vitamin B12, also known as cobalamin.
Yep. It's called what? Cobalamin, which come from what?
Cobalt.
Cobalt.
Oh, right.
That's and it says that here. It says that this is a complex molecule that contains a cobalt, cobalt,
It's cobalt.
yeah, ion in the center of a Corin ring. The Corin macrocycle is the main ligand for the cobalt.
There you go. See that? So somebody on here said is oxalates formed for the humans. Yes, in high amounts it is, but everything have oxalates. Oxalate is not only a defense mechanism for the plant, but it's a healing mechanism for humans. So whether we talking about oxalates, whether we talking about tannins, whether we talking about saponins, whether we talking about AGGs, whether we talking about gluten, whether we talking about gliadin, these are all what you would call plant defense mechanism, because plants don't want to be eaten. So since plants don't want to be eaten, what they do is they put out its own herbicides, and these are for insects that's eating on them. They eat those and they die. But when we talk about people big like us, or we talking about 2-ton animals, these things really don't even wreak havoc on their body like that. So whether we talking about, they talk about phytic acid. Look, we can go through all of that stuff. That stuff ain't never killed nobody. And if anybody is claiming that type of stuff, come on, let's come sit down in the podcast and hash it out. Straight up. Let's come hash it out with scientific evidence. So yes, everything have its own defense mechanism. When you start getting into oxalate, phytic acid, when you start getting to saponins and tannins and AGGs and gliadin and and all these things, this is called the immune system of the plant. Every living thing have its own defense system. It's a benefit to you if you eat it just the right way, because it triggers a detoxification response in you. So I am all for the oxalates. Bring the phytic acid, bring the oxalates, bring the tannins, bring the saponins, bring them on. Tannins is supposed to be a plant defense mechanism, right, God? But tannins actually clears the blood. That's why grapes in the leaf of grapes have high amounts of tannins in it. It thins the blood. I'd rather take that to thin my blood naturally than to go take a damn blood thinner, which is gonna have all types of side effects and just gonna harm my kidneys permanently. So the issue is this: people don't know what the hell they be talking about, God. Then these are the facts, man. That's why you in school and you learning this stuff, and you should give yourself a round of applause for educating yourself. Now, they're not gonna ever tell you the truth. So now once you get them certificates, take those certificates, and then now you're gonna have to unlearn what they taught you and learn the real shit. And then you can put it, damn, my curse. Forgive me, y'all, for cursing. Then you can put them together, and you'll know how to navigate through the matrix, brother.
Yeah, so I appreciate you 100%, my brother.
It's all good, King.
So,
All right.
all right, I'm
Peace, guys. Talk to you soon.
brother. Yes, sir.
I'm super proud of that brother, man. He got his herbal certificate. That's what I'm talking about. I always talking about the B complex. You need your proteins. Well, proteins come from dark leafy green vegetables. You need your vitamins. Well, vitamins come from the soil. The soil go through photosynthesis and biophotomodulations, and then it ends up in the plant. So my vitamins come from the dark leafy green vegetable. You need your amino acid structures. You need your lipids. You need your carbohydrate. Everything y'all saying that y'all need to eat the animal for is eating vegetation, fruits, berries, melons, and vegetables for. Why do I need to eat the animal? Negroes love being the middleman. I never had the middleman complex. I'm always trying to be the leader of the cartel. In every sense, when I was in the streets and even now, I'm trying to be about. Why do I need a middleman? Let's cut the costs. Get straight to the money. Blessings, God. Is how you doing?
Blesses, how are you?
I'm doing good. What's your name? Where you from?
Bianca Singletary. I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
D-Town, Detroit. Detroit is like my second home now.
I know
Shouts
I'm
out to
in.
Wayne. Shouts out to Wayne State University.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got so many friends that graduated from there.
Yep.
And I'm so mad I missed
I'll be
a
there
lot
hopefully
of
in
your lectures
February.
there.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite spots to go. Detroit always show up for me. So shouts out to Detroit. What's going on with you? How can I help you?
Well, for probably over a year now, my whole left side has been hurting. And lately, well, not lately, but maybe 6 months now, my left foot swells. It comes up
Mm,
to my calf and the back of my knee. I believe it's a Baker's cyst.
That
Can,
sound, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like your left kidney is not filtrating and you're becoming edemic, where you're requiring too much interstitial fluid and water.
okay,
And it's messing with your circulation, which is messing with your nerves, is which is causing the pain on that side. I have a question though. Did you get vaccinated?
no,
Round of applause to that, because that's usually the first thing I gotta ask, especially when they come to the clinic and they say, "Did you get vaccinated?" Because this sounds like you got some nanobot buildup.
no,
Okay, so it sounds like it's your kidneys. Now if it is your kidneys, because saying it's the kidneys is gonna cover a few things. Is your blood pressure high?
no.
Good thing. Okay. Now this means it's a circulation issue then. So it's either a circulation issue or your kidneys are not filtering properly and you're retaining that water. So this what I would do if I was you.
Okay,
All right, I'll make sure I go all raw. I go all raw. Now you still can steam your food, just don't steam your food past 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And it still would be considered raw.
okay.
You writing this down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would do a bunch of berries, including grapes. Grapes is a part of the berry family. A lot of people don't know that. I do a bunch of grapes. Grapes have a bunch of tannins in it, so that'll help thin your blood naturally to increase circulation.
Okay,
All right. I will definitely do some organic cranberries. Get you some organic cranberries. Don't get them when they dried and sweetened. Get them when they sour.
okay,
And make sure that you eat a handful of those a day with the seeds inside of them. That's going to actually cause you to have a diuretic type of situation. Diuretic means it's going to make you urinate. You need to be focusing on urination to get rid of all of that excessive buildup of fluids. All right.
okay.
Another thing is your sodium intake. I wish I can see your urinalysis if I can see your sodium intake. The doctors would tell you to decrease sodium. You need to increase your sodium intake. You need to
Okay.
increase it. And what I
And
would
I
do if
I don't have a lot of
see,
sodium, like at all.
you see what I'm saying? So you need to increase it
Okay.
because where sodium goes, water follows.
Right.
So what I would do is every morning I get up, I will get me some Celtic salt, some handcrafted Celtic salt from France. You can get it off Amazon, and I would
Okay.
do a pinch or do a half a teaspoon every morning. A pinch or a half a teaspoon every morning with 4 ounces of water.
Could I
Okay?
use Himalayan salt? I
Him,
have that.
it ain't gonna
It
work the same way.
ain't gonna work.
It ain't gonna
Okay.
work the same way. I do that.
Okay.
And look, cucumbers is amazing. Cucumbers will be amazing, but your problem is your kidneys. Now, you definitely gonna need the kidney and adrenal kit off the site, or you can go to your local herbal store and get those herbs I told you. For as far as the kidneys, your parsley leaf,
Mm-hmm.
your stinky nettle roots, your stinky nettle leaf, and your juniper berries, and you'll do all wholes, and mix them together in even parts, and then you're gonna take this as a tea, and then you have to kick on the adrenal glands to get the kidneys to filtrate properly to get rid of the edemic situation you got going on. Now, since you're edemic, that means you did bust some of your capillaries, your blood and lymph capillaries, and that's the reason why you leaking out anyway. So you're gonna have to regenerate those vessels. Anytime you regenerating vessels, it's always berries, berries, berries. So eat as much berries as you can. Saw palmetto berries, blueberries, blackberries, vitex berries, chase berries, juniper
Okay.
berries, and make sure that they darken pigmentation. It's called anthocyanins. This will help you actually build up as well. But you need the kidney and adrenal kit off the site. I bet you my last dollar if you did the kidney and adrenal kit, and you make sure that you decrease your water intake. If it was me, I wouldn't be drinking more than 42 ounces of water a day. I wouldn't go over that because you don't want to retain more water. I will focus on them kidneys, focus on those adrenals, make sure I'm walking. If you need to, do some compression socks every now and then, and make sure that you sleep with your feet elevated.
Okay. Because I
Watch.
don't. I do have a compression sock though.
See, so you now wear those and make sure that when you sleep with your feet elevated. That way you get all of that water going back towards what? The kidneys.
Yeah.
You see that? And
Okay.
And make
Okay.
sure that you use diuretics. Diuretics is going to make you urinate, and that's how you get rid of that. Now, once you get rid of that, you need to, after you fix your kidneys and your adrenals, I have something called the blood builder and iron nourisher kit. That'll bring everything back in circulation, get all the minerals and things you need back into the bloodstream, and that is how you get whole again. That's what I would do. So kidney and
Okay.
adrenal kit from off the site. Once you get that, and we get everything and that pain and stuff go away, now it's time to refeed the blood. Make sure your iron and everything else is right. That's going to be the blood builder iron nourisher kit. If you came to the
Okay.
clinic, that's what you will leave with them two.
So they did give me iron pills. Don't
Yeah,
take those.
trust me, I already know. So now your iron pills, I can't tell you not to take the iron pills, but I can tell you how to get iron from other sources. I can tell you that. The
Okay.
best source of iron, the one we checked in the clinic, is called Lamb's Quarters herbs. Lamb's Quarters herbs. It don't have nothing to do with actual meaty lamb. It's an actual herb. Lamb Quarters herbs. And my second one is Honduras sarsaparilla. Honduras sarsaparilla. And your iron utilization. Guess what utilize iron in your body? Your adrenal glands
Um,
in your liver.
yeah.
So now if you're now, so look, if
So
your
see you
iron
there.
low, if your iron low, and that's because
Yeah.
your adrenal glands is not functioning properly. Now, guess what? If your adrenal glands is not functioning properly, guess what else ain't functioning properly? Your
And
kidneys.
it's just the one side because the
Yeah.
right side is
Well, you got
okay,
to
but
remember, you bilateral. I like to call it bilateral because we are biological vehicles, but you bilateral. You have a left kidney or right kidney. You have a
hmm
left adrenal gland and a right adrenal gland. You have a left side of your heart or right side of your heart. You have a left hemisphere of your brain or right hemisphere of your brain. Left eye,
right.
left nasal passage, right nasal passage. You left arm, left testicle, right testicle, left ovary, right ovary, which will be you. So we are bilateral or bilateral is what my terminology. So you can have a completely functioning, healthy right kidney and the left kidney won't be doing the proper job, and that's because the adrenal glands that sits on top of it have become too overstimulated, and I bet you that that's your issue.
And I'm wondering how it got like that.
Uh-huh. Yep. So how I got like that, I can tell you right now. All right.
Okay.
First off, I can just by looking at your eyes and looking at your skin, and I don't, and I'm not your beautiful melanated being. I don't want you to think I'm talking about you.
Nope.
But look, first,
Let
it's
me
your
know.
weight. It's your
Okay.
weight. You overweight. You need to lose weight. Next thing is it's your thyroid and your parathyroid. The basal temperature is down. I bet if I checked your temperature right now, you are not at a 98.6. You at a 97 point something, showing that your thyroid is not working properly. You and going through hypothyroidism. I can tell you that you're missing iodine and you're not
Okay.
utilizing iodine properly, which is not bringing up your metabolic rate. Since you're not bringing up your metabolic rate, you can't burn lipid. Since you can't burn lipid, you can't burn adipose tissues. Since you can't burn adipose tissues, you can't lose the fat cells. So once we go after the thyroid, which is what the kidney and adrenal is going to do, that's going to go after the pituitary gland, the thyroid and adrenal axis. This is what's going to have you properly utilizing your minerals properly. And then look, walk a mile a day. I'm not telling you do no rigorous workout. Start walking a mile a day. Make sure that you're eating iodine. Look at what I just ate. I before I went live, I just ate two of these.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
I have those.
this is
Yeah.
yes, this is nori sheets full of iodine. So you're gonna heal the glandular system. Once you heal the glandular system, you fix the kidneys and the adrenals, that's how you get out of the situation. But your issue is metabolic acidosis and mineral deficiency. That's what you have going on, and that'll be the root cause to what you got going on.
Okay. I'm gonna go pick some more of those up though, because I
Yeah,
had those that
you
say
got this.
that.
So look, get that thyroid back online. You will be a-okay. I'm telling you.
Okay. I'm gonna do everything here. Thank
No
you. I've
problem.
been trying to get in touch with you for so long. Oh
Well,
my
I'm
God.
glad you did. I hope everything that I gave you, hope you apply it and utilize it, and you will see that I am not lying to you. This stuff really works if you just apply the
Oh,
information.
oh no, I've been following you. That's what I was like. I'm gonna get in.
All
Thank
right,
you.
let's do it. Let's do it. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right. Talk to you soon.
Uh-huh.
Peace.
Peace. How many more y'all think I should do? I do two more.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna do two more, y'all. Two more, and I'm gonna get up out of here. Who we got? Who we got? Please speak on how to heal pancreatic insufficiency. I'm talking about pancreatic dysfunction and pancreatic insufficiency tomorrow, y'all. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock p.m. Peace, peace, guys. What's your name? Where you from?
Hi, my name is Cherish. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin. What's up with you? How you doing, Cheers?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. What you got going on? Talk to
Oh,
me.
okay. So, like, oh my gosh, this is just so surreal. I cannot believe.
Here's me. Talk to me. Let's get you some.
So, a couple years ago, I want to say December of 2022, I was sitting down on the couch eating on the phone, and all of a sudden, my heart went from like 60 something to like 140 something.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. So,
Sound like your thyroid.
so I was just sitting there, and I jumped up, and I got scared. So then, I don't know, I started taking my clothes off because I got hot. I felt lightheaded. Um, I tried to calm down. Then it happened again. It kept happening. So I went to the emergency room a bunch of times. They couldn't find out anything that was
I can tell
wrong.
you what's wrong with you right now.
What?
It's your thyroid. It's your hormones. So, can I ask how old are you?
41.
41. So it could. Hey, how you doing, baby? So it could be. It could be early
Uh-huh.
menopause and a hormone imbalance. And if it's not early menopause hormone imbalance, then you definitely have something going on with your thyroid and your adrenals. Your
Okay.
thyroid and your adrenals.
So let me finish telling you.
Mhm.
Trevor, you have to go. So then I went to go see my primary doctor. She was kind of upset that I went to the hospital so many times. And she was like, well, it sounds like anxiety. I'm like, no, it's not anxiety. It can't be. This is happening. Like, I would be asleep and my heart rate goes, it'll be like 150, 160.
I get it.
Like, it would just spike up all the time. And I never, like, I don't know. So she like prescribed metoprolol or something.
Hmm.
She prescribed that. Um, she wouldn't really fix the issue or help me fix the issue. She sent me to see a cardiologist. They couldn't figure out anything. He said it just sounded like inappropriate sinus
Yeah.
tachycardia.
So and it's talking about the sinus atrium that's inside your heart. You know, it's so in order for you to do myocardium regulation, you have to use the sinus atrium. The sinus atrium is in control of the rhythm and the beat of your heart, but that's in control by the autonomic nervous system, which is ran by the adrenal glands and by the thyroid and the pituitary gland. It
Okay.
sounds like that you having a not only a hormone imbalance, but it sounds like that you're being overstimulated on a glandular level, what they call an endocrine level. And we definitely can fix it, but you're gonna have to fix your hormones. So it does sound like anxiety. Now it might be straight full on panic attack anxiety, but that's what it sounds like. And like I said, this can be early menopausal, or it can just be that something is going on and you too stimulated in the adrenal, the
Oh,
sinoatrium, and the
stop.
pituitary and the thyroid area. So what I would do if I was you, ASAP, I would go into the website. I have something called the Essential Glandular Kit. It's called the Essential Glandular Kit. And we give this to all the women that come here talking about that, and we give it to the men as well. But it seems like more women is dealing with what you're dealing with now than men. We get now be how many women we get that come here talking about that every day. So this is not nothing that you only going through. A lot of women is going through that. So if I was you, I'll clean up the glandular highway. I'll make sure that I'm eating right. Like, are you still eating fried foods?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I like stopped doing so much because of that. It was so scary, and it's still scary because sometimes it still happens. It's just I don't know.
Or you
Excuse me,
or you
4
eating or
days is
you meat eating meats?
Thanksgiving. Excuse me. Let me
She finna
go.
start. She back there for the tail on you.
No, she
What
said,
y'all
excuse
what
me, she said 4 days is Thanksgiving.
what y'all finna eat for Thanksgiving? Let me know right now.
Okay.
What y'all
We
finna
eat
eat?
we eating cranberry stuff and we're eating um
Don't say no cheese or nothing like that now. She's so
okay,
beautiful.
go. And we eating cupcakes
Go.
and go. I'm sorry.
Look, God, it's
No.
all good. I love children. So what I would do is no fried foods.
Okay.
Okay. No chicken, especially no meat. But if you're gonna eat meat, stay away from the chickens because they have a bunch of hormones that's already shot into them, sexual hormones that will give you anxiety. Stay away from stress foods.
Okay.
I want you to get off all meats, but if you're not gonna stop eating meats, make sure they organic, grass fed, all of that. No hormones, no
I don't eat any
additives.
beef or pork. Mainly I do eat
So you
chicken.
gotta stay away from the chicken
Okay.
because the chicken come with high stress hormones already inside of it because they're producing them to make them grow faster. So they hit them with all these sexual hormones so they can breed quicker and grow faster. And that start messing with your heart, start messing with the myocardial regulation. That messes with the thyroid. That messes with the pituitary gland, and it overstimulates the adrenals, which is gonna cause that issue anyway. So I can't recommend a meat that you can't eat because I don't eat meat
It's
and I
fine.
get all my people off of
No,
it.
that's
But
perfectly fine.
so dark leafy green vegetables,
Mm-hmm.
fruits, berries, and melons, and what will help you out a whole lot is grapes. If you can find some organic grapes, eat as many grapes as possible. Grapes and berries are foods for not only the neurological system, but it is foods for your heart and it is food for your glandular highway. So grapes, grapes, grapes. And then go on my website, www.yakiawaken.com. Get the
Mm-hmm.
essential glandular kit. It's $300 and it will change your life. It will change your life.
Okay.
That's what you need.
Okay.
We eat a cheeseburger for Thanksgiving.
Now you playing around. Look, she smile. She trying to get you in trouble. Look at her smiling behind your head.
Can you?
Y'all eat cheeseburgers?
No.
I do. I like the cheese.
Oh, you like the cheese? Only you only saying that because I said hopefully no macaroni and cheese. That's the only reason why you said it.
I don't
Well, it
So
be your own children. It be your own
macaroni.
children, don't you? Don't it?
it's
John,
always. So you said you think it's an hormonal imbalance.
I think yeah. I mean, even if it's not early menopausal, it's still hormonal because the only thing that's going to make your heart speed up will be cortisol, which is a hormone. Will be epinephrine, norepinephrine, which is a hormone. Will be adrenaline, which is a hormone. Will be any of these stress chemicals that put you in a state of fight or flight, and that's how you experience anxiety and panic attacks. What's in control of that though is your thyroid, your pituitary gland, and your adrenal axis. If we
Mm-hmm.
can go and calm those down and cleanse your blood out and put your body in a state of calmness, that'll help. And we can't get the emotional spirituality side.
Right.
Make sure you doing your affirmations, praying, doing diaphragmatic breathing, speaking to yourself, speaking to your wounds, speaking to your talk to your heart. Tell your heart to calm down. It's okay. You don't have nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to run from. You're not dying right now. You sometimes you got to talk yourself out of those panic attacks too. So I don't want you to just go strictly on the herbs and go buy off my site and you're not gonna fix the emotional component to it either, because all of it matters. It's called holistic healing. It comes together as one.
Okay. Okay.
You got this.
Yeah, it just it's been like a
I
scary
get it.
thing. And so my mom was oh, she was so supportive. Like she was listening to Phil Coffer,
Hmm.
and then she was like, go on YouTube and look at Phil Coffer. And so did that. And then Phil was talking about you, so I've been listening to you since. And so then I was trying to do a consultation, but can't really get through. So I'm on like all the lives.
I'm glad you here.
Oh
This
my
would help. And
gosh.
shouts out to Phil
Yes,
Coffer, man. That's my brother. You know,
yes.
we helped him heal himself of
I
thyroid disease.
know.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
he
got
was
his kidneys
across the
together.
seas doing all of that,
Yeah,
and
now he's amazing. He's fully healthy, and he's one of many of thousands that we help, get their healing. So I'm pretty sure this will help you as well if you do exactly what I'm saying.
okay, I'm gonna do it,
Mom, what is
and I'm
this?
gonna buy the essential glandular kit.
Yep, glandular kit, and that'll help you out.
Okay, I think
Okay.
that's it. I really
All right, you
appreciate
got
it.
this. Now look, if you, God forbid, but if you have the next one during that time, exercise your breathing. You will be amazed when you focus on breathing and calming your spirit. It is called diaphragmatic box breathing. Google it on YouTube, download it to your phone, and start practicing that. That will decrease your cortisol levels. That will decrease it will decrease your stress hormones and increase your relaxation hormones, and that'll calm your storm until you get your adrenals and your thyroid and pituitary glands
So,
working and doing
question
something again. Uh-huh.
okay, so me doing all of this and lifestyle changes as well. This should not happen anymore.
It shouldn't happen anymore. You got to remember when you're going through any type of myocardial dysregulation or malfunction, it's not natural anyway. So
Right.
now the thing is the search. What can cause that? And everything I just said causes that. Being stressed out, eating meat, especially stressed meats, sugars, because processed sugars, highly smoking marijuana would do it as well. Smoking cigarettes will do it as well. Drinking alcohol. Everybody biological functioning is different. So anything that you make unnatural will cause that because it puts your body into a state of fight or flight because you have foreign materials in your body. Once your body say, "Oh, I'm being invaded by something," automatically it's going to dump the fight or flight hormones. And look, your heart beat to make sure blood is getting around your body faster. It runs to your extremity. This to put you in a state of fight or flight or to
Mm-hmm.
run. So you are running and fight from something that you can't see. And if you really think about it, it's like it's hella spiritual too. Really think
Yeah.
about that because your
Yeah.
body is in a state of fight or flight from something that you can't even see with your own eyes. So it's either something on a molecular level, meaning you bringing in chemistry that's not supposed to be in your body, or it is your energy and motions, or what we call emotions.
Okay. Um. So the medication that the doctor had prescribed, I did take it, but I stopped taking
Mhm.
it. And then I did start taking like magnesium supplements,
Yep,
vitamin
and
D,
that's all that.
and
So
vitamin
magnesium,
B12.
so all of that is in the herb. That's in the essential glandular kit.
Okay, great.
And it look,
Okay.
and then again, you can get those things without the kit and still do them. But if you don't want to go through the hassle of making all this stuff and all the
No,
minerals
I'm
you
gonna
need,
get the
that's in the
kit.
kit. That's in the
I'm gonna
kit
get
for
the
you.
kit.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you
All
so
right,
much. I
no
really
problem.
appreciate it.
All right, talk to you soon.
How she call you? You a stranger.
I'm a stranger. Say stranger danger. Yeah, don't never talk to strangers. All right.
Okay. But
All right,
I don't
baby
want
girl.
to see
No,
you.
just like have a good night. Thank you.
Good night. How many your birthday?
My birthday, July 11th. My
My
birthday already
birthday
passed.
October
Yeah, I
28th.
thought you said you don't talk to strangers. Huh? Bye bye. Make sure you get some sleep, okay?
Okay.
Listen to
What?
your mama.
Okay, when you call us?
She gonna call me back.
Okay. Thank
I
you.
like her. All right,
Okay.
listen to
Bye.
you.
I don't know how to get out of here either.
It's
And I
so you,
listen to
you
you
hit your
say this,
screen and it's the top right. It's gonna be an X. You hit
but it's
on that.
by you.
Yeah, hit it.
Okay.
Hit it go off. Oh, it's 9:20. We gotta get up out of here. So look, I wanted to do one more, but we not. I'm gonna be live again tomorrow. I gotta go pick up my family, y'all. So I'll check y'all out. Hopefully, all the information I gave y'all learned a lot from it. Y'all will apply it. My website is yahkiawakeened.com. I only do business through my websites. Do not be talking to people that do not have a blue check by the name. If it say Yahki Awaken or Yahki Rapha Elohim and it's not a verified page, I'm telling you it's not me. I don't have Telegram. I don't respond to people in their DMs. I don't accept money over the internet. We only do official business through our website. That's it. All right. And now they're using AI to fake like it's me. They're using AI. So make sure. So if it's not an official verification page, it is not me, family. Check for that blue check next to the name. If it ain't that, it ain't me. If you would never get asked for money unless it is through the website and you're paying that way, or you come into our clinic and you seeing me face to face. All right. I think I done said this enough times. I'm starting to feel the people that are getting got want to be got at this time. And I understand y'all desperate, y'all need healing, but use your sense and your spiritual discernment, family, okay? All these fake groups, these fake pages is not me. And I just got a new legal team. For those that are using my information and using my videos to sell their products, we're going to start sending out cease and desist. And if y'all do not take my stuff down, I am suing the draws off y'all asses. There shouldn't be no reason why y'all taking my information and taking my videos to sell your products. If your products work and they're good, you should obtain the knowledge and be able to sell your own stuff with your own videos, your own voice, and with your own content creation. So we coming. And we coming fast. So y'all better tighten up. Peace to the gods, peace to the earth. Peace.